Hello everyone, welcome back to SAT Math Question of the Day. Here's our question of the day. Please look at it, try it out, pause the video, come back and we'll go over it. Okay, question 4. This was a non-calculator part of the test from the old style tests. As a system of linear equations, what's the solution to a given system of equations? Wow, seems to me like there are multiple ways to do the problem. They could do the straight arrow approach of substitution. Oh, look at that. Something tells me that x is going to be 1. Just by using test-taking logic, why would they put a 1 twice as the x? That just seems like it's going to be likely that's going to be one of the answers. But there's so many ways to do this. Should we?
Okay, well, actually, I did it without writing.
Okay.
What I did was I looked at the 4 answers.
Yeah.
And I figured that C was the easiest to test.
Yeah.
And so I tested C.
Right.
And discovered it solves the problem.
Right. So we've run into this particularly earlier in the week where one of the things we always look at is it easier just to wave the surrender flag and say, I'm not even going to do this problem. I'm just going to check the answers. And sometimes it is. And that's a so different approach from doing any question at school. You would never do anything like this on a school test. Yeah. But we did make the observation that why would they have 2 1s if this wasn't one of the possibilities?
It's so easy to substitute 1 for x.
Right. Yeah. 15 is equal to 4 times 15 minus 4 times 3. Yeah. Some ways you have to get used to potentially answering SAT questions this way, even though it is so outside of our nature. This is where I screwed up a few days ago, so I'm learning from my mistakes, which you should do when you take the SATs. A few days ago, I did a problem. I did it the normal way, and I did it wrong because I just tested it. Yeah. This is a great way to do the problem. So
so I'll say so strategy 1. It's so easy.
Yeah. You could just say it's
to check C.
Right. Yeah, but
1 3.
But how do we know it was C?
Do it.
Yeah. So do
it. And turns out in this problem,
I know.
In this problem, that's the solution.
Right. But again, how did we know only to narrow it down to this as a possible probability? Because
it's because I picked C. First of all, you check 1 and 3, and that's easy to check. It's easy to check in equation 1.
Right.
And having checked equation 1, then you invest the time to check equation 2. And equation 2 is pretty easy because x is only 1.
Yeah.
So you check equation 2 and what do you get?
I know, we did it. It's okay. We don't have to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to let's try not to repeat. Let me put the light on here. Okay. So that's just so different from how you would do a question in school. You wouldn't get any credit at all if unless it was a multiple choice question. But we really should.
I think it's a lot of many teachers demand that you show your work when you solve problems.
Of course, and that's the only way.
Practiced people into math, people who practiced it a lot and like to do it, could do a problem this in their head, like this in your head.
Right. Well, we're talking about the audience is taking the SAT.
Well, some of those people could do that. Yeah. Because this is such an easy problem. Those people go.
Now, let's go. Let's say you're just straight arrow, like I was earlier in the week, and you just do the problem because you haven't practiced in it, you haven't thought enough about
Okay,
doing
so show them how
SAT.
to.
Yeah, I
The
will.
algorithm,
Yes.
the idea for solving a 2 by 2 system of
Yeah, so
linear
let me do it.
equations is
Okay.
the idea is called elimination.
No, you would do
Elimination followed
substitution.
by back
No,
substitution.
I would use substitution here. I would, and since the y is already here,
Well,
I
that's
would
it's the
say,
same thing as elimination.
fine,
It's the
fine,
same
fine,
thing.
fine, fine, fine. So
The
okay,
elimination, you substitute, then eliminate, and then substitute again.
right. Oh,
Yeah,
wait. Let's
same
do a
thing. It's
little.
same thing.
Okay, yeah. I'm just looking.
But you substitute you substitute an expression for a variable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that is we're replacing a variable by an expression is called elimination.
Okay. It's like
And then
okay,
replacing a
okay.
variable by a constant is called back substitution.
You're just confusing everybody with facts. Okay, but let's talk like practical strategy here. The question is, do you solve for x or y? You've noticed that there are two x's and there are two identical y's. So it probably, let's just do for x. So 15x, so it's 15x. Oh, this is nasty. Negative signs. Negative 28 plus 16x equals 3. Oh, well, look at that. That's tough to do. That's 31x is equal to 31 because we add the 28 to both sides. We combine like terms, so x is 1. Congratulations. At this point, yeah, you would just back solve. You would throw x to be 1 in here, and you would get the answer. So,
yeah.
The question is, does it take... It probably, if it doesn't take that long, but you have to go through a decision tree. You have to think, is it better for me to just start guessing and checking, look for the answer, or just play old school and regular school and just do it that way?
Right.
And then you could also do the other way of what's more commonly known as elimination, which probably doesn't make any sense to do here, where you line the equations up and you subtract one equation from the other. That really doesn't make any sense. So it's important.
It makes sense. It's just not efficient.
Right. Yeah.
Don't say it doesn't make any sense. It is
fine. It doesn't.
There's a difference between There's a difference between an unwise or foolish act,
right,
and a nonsensical act.
Okay. It doesn't make sense in the context of this problem. Okay. Is that better?
No, it makes sense in the context of this problem because it's mathematically valid.
But you know what?
It makes perfect sense.
About. You're so technical today. You're so technical.
Yes, that's what it is with when you have a PhD in math, what you learn to do.
Okay. Let's see. Just going. Oh, calculator. This came from a non-calculator part of this test. That's obsolete now because the digital SAT is now all calculator. When we looked at the example problems in the digital SAT, we found what I would call a full-blown system of equation problem, where they gave you things like this: 4y plus 7x is 8, and 6y plus 9x is 2. And I call this full-blown because substitution doesn't make sense here. It is not efficient. Only elimination, only that method that's normally called elimination, where you have to multiply equations by different numbers and subtract, makes sense. This was an example problem on the digital SAT example problems that the SAT gave out. So, heading into the digital SAT, starting in the winter of 2024, you should know how to solve this problem. You'll see it as an example on the SAT practice questions. And what's the main idea of this problem? What are they finding out to see whether you know how to do? Obviously, you're understanding how to deal with a linear system of equations. And then it's really your choice as to how you deal with it, because there are multiple ways to deal with it. And we suggested 2 reasonably efficient ways. 1, looking at it and just sort of deducing the answer, and 2, solving it the more methodical way. One could graph this right now. If you come to think of it, that's right. If you had this on your digital SAT, which you may, graph it because you have a graphing calculator. Graph it and just pick off the answer. Come to think of it, that really is the best way to solve a system of equations now on the digital SAT. Is not waste your time doing elimination, but just graph the lines and boom, you see the answer.
Well, it depends on how quickly you could type it in.
Yeah, probably you could type it in a lot faster than you can multiply this equation by, oh boy, this multiply this equation by what? This equation by 6, and then multiply this equation by -4, and you're going to make all sorts of sign mistakes, things like that. Don't try to solve the system of equations, by the way. I just made it up. You're going to get weird answers. So that's something to know heading into digital SAT, which doesn't apply in this question. So the main idea, one really efficient way to solve system of equations is to graph the two equations using the Desmos calculator that they give you on the SAT, and look and see where the intersection point is. And that
doesn't it actually put a dot at the intersection point?
Yes, I think it does.
And then you could read off from the axes what the coordinates are.
Yeah. Should we? It's tempting to show that. What do you? Maybe we should.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, why not? So you go to Desmos because they give you the same calculator. Where is it? Desmos graphing calculator. And the only problem is I do not remember the equations. So y is 7 minus 4x. Y is 7 minus 4x. So that's nicely graphed for us. Oh, and this one's harder to remember. 15x minus 4y is 3. 15x minus 4y is 3. And there we go. There's our intersection point.
Bingo!
1. And
there it is. You just point to it. It reads it off.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that great? You will have this on your digital SAT. This is probably the way to solve the system of equations on the new digital SAT. Yeah. So it's an easy question if you graph it and get your points that way. Okay. So I think. Oh, right. So the main idea here, if you're going to go the graphing approach, the main idea is when you have a system of linear equations, the solution is the intersection point of the graphs of the two linear equations. And that looks like we're done, right?
Yeah.
We're done with it. Okay, good. So we offer different approaches like we like to do. I'm Joel. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. You can see I just want to get the answer. Seth has a PhD in math from MIT. He wants to really explain it accurately, make sure that all the vocabulary is done exactly right, because math is very technical. And he's been teaching computer science for many years at SUNY Albany. He's now retired. So we're here with brothers. We try to offer different approaches and different lenses to dealing with the SAT questions. We always discuss what the main idea of the question is, because that's really what you want to. When you look at it, that's the key. You really want to take the stake and put it right through the problem's heart, and that helps to really understand what's going on. And in terms of practicing, take as many practice questions as you can, particularly find your weaknesses and study the topics that you do a lot of questions on the problems that are your weaknesses, and you could. Khan Academy is great because they offer questions sorted by problem type, and the post 2016 SAT is more of a test of what you learned in school. So with all that, I think we're done. Please give us comments on our videos. We really appreciate it. More people have been commenting recently, so we like that. Thank you very much. And if you have any SAT math questions, please email them to us at SAT Math Question of the Day. I feel like we forgot something, but since we meet almost every day, whatever we forgot will come up next week. Okay, everyone, it's Friday here. So have a great weekend, and we hope to see you next week. Take care, everyone.